Good evening. This evening I'm going to show us how we can install Microsoft SQL Express 2019 Management Studio. This is a follow-on video from how I installed SQL Express previously, but I'll just run through a quick recap of what we did in those steps. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, on my virtual machine here, which I'm running on VirtualBox, I went to the Microsoft site. I went to this link over here, and I went and downloaded the SQL Express installer. After that, I ran the installer and I told it to download the full edition. I had already put it on a disk, so it's on a disk here, and when I ran it, I extracted it to a folder called the C SQL Express install. Okay, so if ever I want to add or remove packages from SQL Express, I just come here and I run the setup file, and that setup will try and run, and then it should load a screen like this. Okay, and the one that I'm wanting to focus on is installing the SQL Server Management Tools. Okay, so I'm just going to click on that. Okay, so it doesn't come downloaded with it. It wants to take me to a link to go ahead and download it. So I'm going to click on this download, and there we go. It tells me the latest version of the studio is 18.12.1. I'm happy with that. I want to get that version. Click on the download for that. As you can see, it's 677 megs, so it will be a little while. I'm going to pause the video until it's finished. There we go. Only got 2 seconds left. Okay, it's now finished downloading. Once it's finished downloading, you can click on the open folder so that it can take you back to the folder where it's stored, and then from here I'm going to run this setup file. If you have user account control enabled, then you should be prompted with this screen. We'll say here, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Just choose yes. We then get presented with a screen of where do we want to install the Management Studio, and I'm going to leave it in the default location. Just going to click on install. Starts installing some of the visual runtime components. We are at the end, and so should be slowly changing over to the well done, you are successfully completed screen. Just waiting for that to pop up. Okay, so it's not a well done, you've installed it all, but it says here restart required in order to complete setup. all specified components have been installed successfully. The computer needs to be restarted before setup can continue. So I'm going to proceed to restart and just pause the video. Okay, so the restart was successful. Something that I normally do, it's just because I've been used to SQL in the past, and it's normally to go and check the services, make sure that all the services are running before I try and connect, because if you don't check the services, you might find there's a missing service, and the problem is you can't connect to the database with a missing service. So I just type services.msc, okay, then it brings up the services app. And once the services tab is open, then you can scroll down and look for Microsoft SQL services. Okay. There we go. And then you can see here the Express service is running, but there's some that aren't running. But I think as long as the SQL Express service is running, then we're happy for now. The browser service, as you see, is not running, so I definitely want to try and start that. And for some unknown reason, it doesn't want to give me a start option. Maybe the computer is still booting up. No, it says it's disabled. So if a service is disabled, then that might be the reason why you won't get it to start. So I'm going to choose it to manual, okay, and there you see now the start becomes ungrayed out. So I'm just going to click on start like that. Alright, so that service is started. I'm happy with the services that are there, so I'm now going to go and try and open the Microsoft Management Studio and see if I can find my database. So I can't remember if it was under Tools or under here. So we'll look, nothing there. So let's try Tools. Microsoft SQL Server Management. There we go. So it's definitely under the Tools. We click on there and we try and launch that application. So you should see a screen similar to this appearing once it opens, and if you leave it on Windows Authentication, it should be okay. So I'm going to try and connect with the Windows Authentication. Once you can see this screen and you open up the databases, and you go to System Databases and you can see these, then you have successfully connected to SQL through the Management Studio. So thank you for watching this video. I hope that it's been helpful and that it's been informative. All the best with your SQL Express route. Thanks very much. Goodbye.